A quote commonly attributed to Benito Mussolini, "Fascism should more properly be called corporatism because it is the merger of state and corporate power," clearly explains the form of today's emerging fascist state in America. Last week, we reported how the digital ID will be deployed by private companies and the customer's consent. The government doesn't need to mandate biometric ID, which would most likely be considered a violation of American rights. And so it outsources the mandate to private companies who are legally required to get consent, while the government is free to collect and utilize this data under legal immunity. Just like the COVID era, you will be free to give consent, but if you choose not to, you will have to leave the reservation and find a way to fend for yourself. This week, we will look at what is commonly known as the social credit score and its active deployment in the US.
I was about to order food on Uber Eats, and as I'm about to check out, I noticed this disclosure, which made me pause. I was like, what do you mean an algorithm is determining the price that I am paying for based on my personal data?
Communist China's social credit system is a compliance framework that was launched in 2014 with the official goal of building trust in society by punishing individual behavior. This system has allowed banks to shut off people's money and prevent them from traveling or leaving their neighborhood. It allows the Communist Chinese government the ability to condition people's behavior on an individual basis, and it is now being deployed in the United States. Here, it is being called algorithmic pricing and uses automated computer programs to dynamically set the price of goods and services in real time and on an individual basis. The algorithms are based on large amounts of data, including customer behavior, and can charge one individual more than another for the same product based on their willingness to pay and all of their personal data. Wherever you live in the US, you are likely being subjected to this social credit score system right now. But the only way you would know is if you reside in the state of New York. On November 10th, 2025, New York's Algorithmic Pricing Disclosure Act was launched. The Southern District of New York upheld the act as constitutional because it compels private corporations to notify you that you are being charged based on personalized algorithmic pricing, which the courts define as dynamic pricing set by an algorithm that uses personal data. Personal data is defined as any data that identifies or could reasonably be linked directly or indirectly with a specific consumer or device. And the law does not consider whether that data was voluntarily provided or not, which means that every aspect of your life can be used to determine what a company charges you for their service. New York's Algorithmic Pricing Disclosure Act is the first of its kind, and we can expect to soon see the same in all 50 states. But one thing is for certain, the social credit score is now a real thing in America, and it's a safe bet that the carbon tax isn't far away. An AI-run cryptocurrency economy is the only solution being pursued by the United States government and the big banks, who see it as the only way to save America from its crippling debt and claim victory in the artificial intelligence arms race.
In AI 2027, what we depict happening is special economic zones with zero red tape. The government basically intervenes to help this whole thing go faster.
Because the promise of gains is so large that even though there are protesters massed outside these special economic zones who are about to lose their jobs as plumbers and be dependent on a universal basic income, the promise of, trillions of more in wealth is too alluring for governments to pass up. That's what
we guess. But of course, the future is hard to predict. But part of the reason why we predict that is that we think that at least at that stage, the arms race will still be continuing between the US and other countries, most notably China. Right. And so if you imagine yourself in the position of the president, and the super intelligences are giving you these wonderful forecasts with amazing research and data backing them up, showing how they think they could, transform the economy in 1 year if you did X, Y, and Z. But if you don't do anything, it'll take them 10 years because of all the regulations. Meanwhile, China, it's pretty clear that the president would be very sympathetic to that argument,
Greg Reese reporting. The Reese Report is now fully funded by my Substack subscribers. Subscribe today and support my work at gregreese.substack.com.